U.S. stocks posting their biggest weekly gains in a month. Earnings, much of the reason why. Let's go right to Deborah Kostroun from the New York Stock Exchange to give us more details. Deborah.
Thanks a lot, Pimm. Yes, and all this week we've been talking about the earnings. It's been a big week with so many companies reporting earnings, and that has helped out the market not only throughout the week but also in today's session. And as Pimm was mentioning, stocks like Caterpillar, that was the biggest gainer in the Dow after their earnings. They also raised their forecast because of a surge of sales in developing countries. Also, Goodyear Tire and Rubber hitting a record today after reporting record sales. So, Pimm, it was all about those earnings.
Now, Deborah, all right, we did have one big earnings report from Microsoft that kind of soured the mood for a lot of the earnings hoopla today. Microsoft shares down about 4%.
Right. And, we talked about this after the closing bell yesterday. Their sales missed analysts' expectations after the iPad, really kind of putting a dent into sales for Microsoft. But overall, people are talking about the earnings. They have been coming in as expected or slightly better, with companies like Caterpillar that do have exposure to global growth doing well. But some traders do note that we did see the weakness like we saw in Microsoft. But all in all, it has been a good quarter. More than 3/4 of companies have beat estimates. And for the week, as Pimm was talking about, some very nice gains. The Dow up nearly 2.5%, the S&P and the NASDAQ up about 2%. And what a month. We hope that the month of May, if you are long the market, was as good as April, because the Dow Jones Industrial Average up over 4% for the month and has now been up for 5 consecutive months. The S&P, as you can see, up 3 1/3%, and the NASDAQ up over 4%. Not only did we see economic reports, but of course it was really those earnings pushing the market higher. Pimm, back to you.
Thank you very much. Deborah Kostroun reporting from the New York Stock Exchange.